Hi there. Today I'm going to talk you through part 2 of my series of trying to navigate the standard Italian bureaucracy. I'm going to describe some of my experience of some of the notoriously difficult parts of bureaucracy in Italy as an Italian citizen resident abroad. In part 1, I've already covered Fast IT and AIRE. So you might want to check that one out first. Otherwise, usual disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer and I'm just a citizen trying to navigate these very convoluted processes. Having said that, I'm going to talk to you about my experience of notaries, the consulate, passport renewal and ID cards today. Notaries. So they authenticate and certify signatures, authority to sign, capacity to sign, all that kind of stuff before the documents can then be used abroad. The Italian consulate does offer a notary service, but I didn't use it because it was too far away from the people who needed to sign documents. So we found some local notary, easy to find, just Google it, and you pay them to co-sign your documents, known as apostille, before you submit them abroad. I used a notary in the UK and one in Italy. And you should bear in mind, while they're both polite and really good, they don't speak to each other. So I had to act as the go-between, and albeit things went well, I ended up doing a bit more running around than I expected, so just bear that in mind. Okay, this is the fun one. Access to the consulate. Now bear in mind when I talk about this, I'd already completed Fast IT and AIRE. So if you're trying to access the consulate without doing those two things, I don't know how to help you, but I covered those in part 1. During the pandemic and in post-Brexit UK, getting an appointment at the Italian consulate is extremely difficult, and I would suggest it's a bit like getting tickets for a really popular live music concert. It's really, really hard. So don't underestimate how hard that is. Having said that, once you do get an appointment, obviously I turned up with every available document printed out that I might be asked for. Having said that, once you're in the consulate, I found the service extremely good, very fast, and I've been there twice in sort of recent history. In addition, and this is obviously the London consulate I'm talking about, I'm finding the processes are improving, which is encouraging. And just bear in mind, I've spoken only Italian at the Italian consulate. I have heard other people with sort of fairly broken Italian there as well, so, but I can't really be sure in terms of translation and that kind of stuff. Right, passport renewal. In my experience, and bear in mind I've had Italian passport since I was a child, this comes in 2 flavours, the easy way and the hard way. So if you've got a passport, I strongly recommend you renew it pre it expires, because sometimes you can do this via post without a consulate visit. This may be changing now because there's now biometric passports as well, so that could be changing. I chose to do it the difficult way this time round, and I learned to regret it. So my passport had expired, so I had to have a consulate visit. So I had to do all the fun of getting the slot, and it's difficult, and I would explain this. And I would be really keen to avoid this in the future. So, you know it's hard to get an appointment at the consulate. The biggest queues at the consulate door were for passports, but I have to say, once you're in, staff very efficient, and I had a fresh shiny new passport within 90 minutes the same day. Worked for me. ID cards. Now before I did this, I had Fast IT, I had AIRE, I had a valid passport. So with that in mind, I think this is probably where most of you would be if you're applying for an ID card. The same issues, getting an appointment, really difficult. And with the ID card application, not only are you trying to get a slot quickly when they come available, you're actually also trying to fill out the fields accurately. This is really hard. So the first attempt to book an appointment, I just focused on filling the fields correctly, which then I saved the data, and that way every subsequent attempt I already had the data saved and I could just focus on getting the slot. I know this probably sounds confusing, but when you do it, it might make more sense. Okay, the good news is at the consulate, arrived on time, had all my documents there, they checked the biometrics, I was done in 30 minutes. I didn't get an ID card same day. I was advised it would take 4 weeks. It actually arrived in under 2 weeks. Process was really smooth, went really well without issues. Worked for me, but it's no guarantee. Anyway, I hope that's useful. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments, and if I have any experience of them, I will try and answer them. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just like you, just trying to work my way through the process. Click here for some more videos you may be interested in.